Laziness, a subtle trap that ensnares us all at some point. We recognize it as one of the greatest obstacles between us and our dreams, yet its grip can feel impossible to escape. Why? Because comfort is seductive. It lures us with the promise of ease, safety, and instant gratification, making effort seem daunting by comparison. Staying in our comfort zone becomes a habit, and before we realize it, we're postponing even the simplest tasks, telling ourselves, "I'll do it later." But, as we've all experienced, that later often never arrives. The truth is, breaking free from laziness isn't as hard as it seems. With small, consistent steps, setting clear goals, building daily habits, and keeping our dreams in focus, we can transform our lives. Today's story is about a young man who paid a steep price for his laziness, but one piece of advice changed everything, guiding him to a life of purpose and success. What was this advice, and how did it reshape his future? As we dive into this tale, we'll also learn new words and see how to use them in sentences. So, stay with us until the end. This story will inspire and equip you to conquer your own procrastination. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the base of a lush green hill, there lived a young man named Alex. Unlike the other young men in the village who toiled diligently in the fields or pursued various trades, Alex preferred to spend his days lounging under a sprawling tree behind his house. Deep down, he knew his laziness was eroding his life, but every attempt to break free seemed to pull him back even harder. One day, a devastating event turned Alex's world upside down. The person he loved most married a wealthy man, leaving him heartbroken. The villagers began to whisper, mocking his laziness as the root of his failure. Stung by shame and loss, Alex resolved to change. But he was lost. Where could he even begin? As he sat near the hill, lost in thought, he noticed an old man walking along the path. Grandpa David, a wise elder revered throughout the village for his insight and guidance. Desperate, Alex ran to him. "Grandpa, I can't overcome my laziness. Please help me. I don't want to live like this anymore." Grandpa David's kind eyes crinkled with a smile. "Those who try succeed. I admire your willingness to change. Come to my house in 3 days with food for a journey, and I'll show you how to defeat your laziness. But be warned, you'll need to travel far, so prepare well." Excited and brimming with hope, Alex agreed and hurried home to prepare. For 3 days, he counted down eagerly. On the 3rd day, he packed food, money, and essentials and set out for Grandpa David's house. When he arrived, the old man pointed to a distant mountain. "The cure for your laziness lies in a cave on the other side of that mountain. It will take 3 to 5 days to get there. Inside the cave, you'll find a pot with 2 pills, a red one, a blue one. Bring them back to me, and I'll tell you how they'll help you overcome your laziness. But there's one more thing. Another young man, in blue clothes, left yesterday for the same cure. If you want it, you'll need to reach the cave before him." Determined, Alex embarked on his journey. He crossed the village and reached a river where an old man was rowing a boat slowly. Impatient, Alex took the oars and rowed with all his strength, crossing in just 20 minutes instead of an hour. Without realizing it, Alex was already changing, his laziness fading as his focus and determination grew. He ran, climbed, and pushed through every obstacle, even when exhaustion weighed him down. One thought echoed in his mind: there's no substitute for hard work. After 2 days of relentless effort, Alex reached the cave. Inside, just as Grandpa David had described, he found a pot containing a red pill and a blue pill. Bursting with pride, he hurried back to the village. When he handed the pot to Grandpa David, he asked eagerly, "How will these pills cure my laziness?" To his shock, Grandpa David smiled and swallowed one of the pills himself. "Why did you take one?" Alex exclaimed, a mix of confusion and anger. Grandpa David chuckled. "This pill was for my back pain. The real cure for your laziness, you've already discovered it on your journey. You worked hard, stayed focused, and overcame every challenge. The red pill symbolizes your big dreams, and the blue pill represents the determination to keep going. You've proven that with a clear goal and persistent effort, nothing is impossible." Alex paused, reflecting on the words. It was true. He had conquered his laziness through his own actions. Then a thought struck him. What about the young man in blue clothes? Did he reach the cave? Grandpa David laughed heartily. "That was my son. He went to visit his brother in the next village. I mentioned him to motivate you to act faster." Though slightly annoyed, Alex couldn't help but smile. He thanked Grandpa David and returned home with renewed energy and determination. From that day forward, Alex was no longer lazy. He embraced hard work, tackled new challenges, and eventually became a successful, respected man in the village. Every moment in life is precious. The tasks you postpone today might be the key to your success tomorrow. Take small steps daily, set clear goals, and work hard to achieve them. Success comes to those who chase their dreams with persistence and dedication. New words and example sentences. Procrastination. N. The act of delaying or postponing tasks. Example. His procrastination caused him to miss the deadline for the project. Relentless. Adjective. Persistent and unyielding in effort. Example. Her relentless pursuit of her goals inspired everyone around her. Essentials. N. The most necessary items or elements. Example. He packed only the essentials for his weekend trip. We hope this story inspired you to overcome procrastination and enriched your English vocabulary. Keep practicing, learning, and growing. Learning English can be fun with regular practice. If this story resonated with you, share how it helped you in the comments and spread the inspiration to others. See you in the next story, where we'll continue learning together.
Have you ever found yourself just completely stuck? You know exactly what you should be doing, right? That big task, that goal. But instead, you're, I don't know, scrolling endlessly or maybe suddenly alphabetizing your spice rack.
Oh, absolutely. That internal fight, comfort just pulls you in, doesn't it? That promise of easy.
Exactly. It feels like you're caught in this trap. And we've all been there, feeling that weight of like not doing the thing. So today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that challenge. How do we understand and maybe even start to overcome what we call laziness or, procrastination?
Yeah, we're using a really interesting story as our guide, aren't we? The Cure for Laziness, Alex's Journey to Purpose.
That's the one. So our mission today is basically to pull out the key insights, the really useful bits, maybe even some surprising facts from Alex's story.
The goal is to give you, the listener, some concrete ideas, maybe some inspiration, to tackle your own delays.
Right. We want to look at why comfort is such a seductive trap, like the source says, and how this one guy, Alex, managed to turn things around with some advice that sounds simple, but wow.
It really is profound when you unpack it.
Okay, so let's start unpacking. The source material jumps right in, defining laziness not just as like a personality problem, but as this subtle trap.
Yeah, it calls it one of the greatest obstacles to getting what we want. But it feels so hard to escape, almost like quicksand, you mentioned earlier.
It really does. You try to fight it and you just sink deeper.
And the psychology behind it is fascinating. Our brains are kind of wired to save energy, seek the easy path.
Like the path of least resistance.
Exactly. Psychologists call it the principle of least effort. And anything that requires effort, it just seems daunting. It takes mental energy, physical energy just to start.
Right. That activation energy.
So staying put, staying comfortable, that becomes the default. It becomes a habit. And we tell ourselves that classic line,
I'll do it later.
I'll do it later, every time. It's an instant reward avoiding the discomfort right now, even if we know, logically, it's going to bite us later on.
It's so true. It's like short-term gain for long-term pain, almost.
Yeah.
Your brain thinks it's helping by saving energy.
But really, it just lets things pile up. That later often turns into never, or at least turns into a much bigger, scarier task down the road.
Yeah, creating more stress than if you just tackled that first small thing. It's a cycle, isn't it?
A vicious cycle, definitely.
So enter Alex. Our source paints this picture of a young guy in a village. Everyone else is busy, working, learning.
And Alex, he's lounging under a sprawling tree, just chilling.
Yeah. And it says deep down, he knew. He knew this laziness, this inaction was costing him, but every time he tried to break free,
It just pulled him back harder.
Yeah.
It's that feeling of wanting to change so badly, but being completely unable to make the first move, like an invisible wall.
Absolutely. And then comes the turning point. The story talks about a hidden cost of this inaction.
Yes, and it's quite devastating, actually. It serves as his wake-up call. The person he loved ends up marrying someone else, a wealthy man.
Ouch. Heartbreak.
Massive heartbreak. And adding insult to injury, the villagers, they start whispering, mocking his laziness as the root of his failure.
So it wasn't just personal pain, it was public shame too. He couldn't hide from the consequences anymore.
Exactly. It highlights that idea of opportunity cost.
Yeah.
He chose the comfort of inaction, and the cost was huge. Love, respect, his own future, really. Profound regret.
Wow. Okay, so that's his rock bottom moment. He knows he has to change, he's resolved, but he's lost.
Yeah, the resolve is there, but the how isn't. Where do you even start when you feel like you're at the bottom of a mountain? That inertia is powerful.
So he's pondering this, feeling lost, and he sees Grandpa David, the village's wise elder, right? Respected by everyone.
And Alex, in desperation, just runs up to him. Grandpa, I can't beat this laziness. Help me. I don't want to live like this.
It sounds so raw, so honest. Anyone who's felt stuck can probably relate to that cry for help.
Absolutely. And Grandpa David's first response is really key. He doesn't lecture. He just says, those who try succeed. I admire your willingness to change.
That's powerful, just that simple validation.
It's huge, especially for Alex, who's probably drowning in self-doubt and maybe shame from the villagers. It's like throwing him a lifeline. It validates his desire, gives him hope. It starts rebuilding what we call self-efficacy.
Self-efficacy, like the belief you can actually do something.
Exactly. The belief in your own ability to handle things. That affirmation was the first step.
Okay, so validation first. But then Grandpa David gives him this task. It's pretty challenging and kind of mysterious.
Very much so. He tells Alex first, come back in 3 days with food for a journey.
Okay, prep time.
Then the big reveal. The cure for your laziness lies in a cage on the other side of that mountain. A trip that'll take maybe 3 to 5 days.
A multi-day trek? That's serious.
And inside the cave, there's a pot. 2 pills inside, one red, one blue. Alex needs to bring them back.
Red pill, blue pill. Okay, very intriguing. But then there's a twist, isn't there? A motivator.
Ah, yes, the kicker. Grandpa David adds, another young man in blue clothes left yesterday for the same cure. If you want it, you'll need to reach the cave before him.
Whoa! Competition. Suddenly it's urgent.
Precisely. It adds that external pressure.
So, listener, put yourself in Alex's shoes for a second. You get this vague but massive quest, a multi-day journey, a competitor. What do you even pack? What are the absolute essentials you'd need?
Yeah, essentials, just the most necessary things. It's a big ask, even just preparing for it.
Definitely. But Alex does it. He's got hope. He's got this challenge. He prepares and sets off. And this is where, like you said, it gets really interesting. The change starts almost immediately.
It does. It's subtle at first.
He gets to a river, right? There's an old boatman rowing super slowly. Alex, now focused on his mission, impatient.
He actually takes the oars,
Bruh.
rows it himself, crosses in 20 minutes instead of waiting an hour.
He didn't just wait, he acted. That's a big first step, proactively taking charge like that.
It really is. And what's fascinating, as the source points out, is without realizing it, Alex was already changing. His laziness was starting to fade because his focus, his determination was taking over.
So the cure wasn't waiting at the end. It started the second he, took the oars.
Exactly. That action, overcoming that initial resistance, that activation energy, that's where it began. He wasn't thinking about being lazy anymore. He was thinking about the task, getting across the river. The momentum started building right there.
The journey itself was the cure starting to happen.
Precisely. The act of doing.
And it builds from there. He develops this mantra, there's no substitute for hard work. and he lives it for the next 2 days.
He goes all out, running, climbing, pushing through exhaustion. It's relentless effort.
Relentless, yeah, just persistent, unyielding. It's not just physical, is it? It's mental toughness. Choosing effort over comfort again and again.
Absolutely. It's grit.
And this really shows us, you the listener too, that breaking that cycle of procrastination.
Procrastination, just delaying things.
It's not like flipping a switch. It's about that sustained action. Small efforts, maybe, but consistent ones.
That's the key. Consistency builds momentum, builds resilience. Alex found out that motivation doesn't just appear. You create it by starting.
So after 2 days of this relentless effort, Alex makes it. He gets to the cave.
Finds the pot, just like Grandpa David said, red pill, blue pill.
He must have felt amazing. He did it. He races back, totally proud, ready for the cure, hands the pot over.
And Grandpa David just smiles, pops one of the pills himself.
And says it's for his back pain.
Yep. Just casually mentions it's for his aching back.
Oh man, I can just imagine Alex's face like, seriously, back pain, all that effort for back pain pills.
Exactly. But that's the genius move, right?
Yeah.
Because then Grandpa David drops the real truth bomb.
Which is?
The real cure for your laziness. You've already discovered it on your journey.
Yeah.
You worked hard, stayed focused, overcame every challenge.
Wow, so it was never about the pills. The journey was the cure.
It was always about the journey, the action, the focus, the effort. Those were the remedies. It shows that real change comes from within, from grappling with the challenges, not finding some external magic bullet.
Okay, but what about the pills, the red and the blue? Was that just random?
Not at all. Grandpa David explains the symbolism. He says, the red pill symbolizes your big dreams.
Okay, the why? Your big goals.
And the blue pill represents the determination to keep going.
The how, the grit, the persistence.
Exactly. It's a beautiful metaphor for our internal drivers. You need both. The inspiring vision, red pill, and the unwavering commitment to act, blue pill. They weren't meant to be swallowed. They were concepts to internalize.
That makes so much sense. And Alex gets it then, has his aha moment.
He does. He reflects and realizes, yeah, he did conquer his laziness. Through his own actions, he proved it to himself.
But wait, there's still that loose end? The other guy, the young man in blue clothes, was he real? Did Alex beat him?
Ah, the competitor. Grandpa David reveals that was just his son.
No way.
Yes. Used strategically, he says, to motivate you to act faster.
Wow. So a bit of clever manipulation maybe, or just a nudge?
It does raise that interesting question, doesn't it? How much can external factors like competition or a deadline, even a slightly deceptive one, kickstart internal change?
Yeah, sometimes you just need that initial push to get rolling, even if the ultimate drive has to come from inside.
Exactly. It can be the spark that lights the fire. A fascinating bit of behavioral insight there, the power of a clear incentive.
So that's the turning point. And the source says, from then on, Alex was transformed. No longer lazy, he embraced hard work, took on challenges.
And eventually became successful and respected in the village. It's a story about the power of sustained effort and how it compounds over time.
So connecting Alex's journey back to us, to the listener, what are the universal takeaways here?
Well, first, it really hammers home that idea of present bias we naturally value now over later. Alex initially chose immediate comfort over future happiness and paid a price.
Right, we see the cost.
Second, his journey shows the power of small steps, those small wins. Taking the oars, climbing the first hill, each action built momentum and belief. Self-efficacy again.
So it's not about giant leaps, necessarily.
Not usually. It's about consistent effort. It really underscores that success comes to those who chase their dreams with persistence and dedication. The tasks you put off today, they're not just delayed tasks. They're missed chances to build the very skills and character you need for tomorrow.
So the cure isn't out there in some magic cave.
Yep. It's inside. It's that deliberate choice to act, fueled by your why, your goals, your dreams, and sustained by your determination. Alex had the power all along. The journey just helped him unlock it.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, the core message from Alex's story seems clear. Beating laziness isn't about finding a magic pill or a quick fix.
Not at all. It's about embracing the process, the journey, understanding that small, consistent steps really do add up. It's about pushing past that initial inertia.
That activation energy, taking that first oar stroke.
Exactly. And building that belief in yourself, that self-efficacy, through relentless effort, however small it starts. Connecting what you do to your big dreams.
The process itself builds the determination you need. The doing creates the cure.
Beautifully put.
So we invite you, our listener, to maybe think about one area in your life right now where you feel a bit stuck, where procrastination might have a hold. Is there a goal, a task you keep putting off? Just take a second to pinpoint it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you think about that, here's a final thought to chew on. What seemingly tiny first or stroke could you take today? Right now, even. Understanding, like Alex learned, that the real cure isn't waiting at some finish line.
But it's found in that brave, deliberate, sometimes scary act of just beginning.